Greetings. What's up, everybody? Your boy Ryan is here somewhere. He's somewhere running a little bit late, but he's going to join us momentarily. Thankfully, we made it back from our designated trips that we went on, and we're back here with y'all. We're going to get to some emails here pretty soon, and got some other things on the agenda for this chef special. So hopefully everything's sounding all right. We tried to get things back. Go good. Oh, I hear a voice. Let me see if I can get a face. Let's see. Here we go. Did it work? Let's see. There we go. There he is. So yeah. Ryan, let us know if you're dead in the chat. Doing your thing. Oh man. Well, let's see. Mitch is in here saying here and ready to hear those emails that haven't been read. Well, Mitch, they've been read. They've been read by 8 eyes. That's both right and by 4 eyes. So, and we're gonna go through them and pick them apart and talk about some stuff in them. And yeah, so thanks for writing, and thanks to everyone else who's written us in the past, in the present, and in the future, if you will. That's we appreciate that, and it means a lot. But yeah, oh yeah, let's do it. Yep, it's true. It's true. Indeed. Yeah. Right. So there you go. That won't. I mean, yet is the operative word. Uh, I don't know. You look good to me. Is there no audio on Ryan? You can't hear Ryan? Jeez. Okay. Man, this sucks. Why is this keep doing it? Why is this keep doing it? I can't even talk right. Shit. So, let's see here. I think this does it. Let's try that. Give me something, Ryan. Jeez. Okay. No, I'm not even seeing you on the thing now. That's weird. Okay. Well, this is what the this is what the pregame and all that's for. So, here we go. Oh, and Mitch just brought up something that I really want to talk about too. Let's see. Where do you come in at? What does meter by? Oh. Is it this? Let's just see. Yeah, it. I have to consult one of our troubleshooting things on the drive. So yeah, let me find that then. Yeesh. All right. Because I think what it is something updated and it changed your what you come in on in OBS, and that, but I don't know why, because I specifically did not change that, so I don't know why it is doing that. But let's see, you need to be on input. No. Okay. There's that. So you're not there. Hmm.
Like I wasn't in the scene
Okay.
before.
Okay. I got signal on you now.
You have me now.
I do.
Chat. Am I coming through on the chat
Let's see.
or on the stream? It speaks. Okay.
Okay. Uh, yeah. For some
Okay.
reason, did it come through? Did they say? Because
Yeah. It hasn't caught up to us yet, but someone
okay,
said something.
it speaks. Okay,
Yeah.
John said it speaks. Okay. Thank you, John. Yeah, I just changed. It was on default, and then it just had to refresh for some reason. Like, so I changed it
Okay.
back to something else, and then switched it, and now it seems to be working. So, that's obnoxious.
Okay.
But thank you all for sticking with us.
Yeah.
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 Real quick though, Mitch in the chat says that TMNT 2003 is finally getting a complete series release on July 25th. It's not on Blu-ray, but a regular DVD. Not a problem. They dislike Blu-rays anyway. Well, hey, there you go. I have a love-hate relationship with Blu-rays.
Why do we dislike Blu-rays?
I don't like the
Why do we not like Blu-rays?
I love how they look and all that, but there's something about the menu or the controls that always irritated me with every Blu-ray I put in and use. I don't know
Okay.
why. It's just I'm like, oh, DVDs just were a lot more. They made more sense to me, and I don't know if I'm yelling at a cloud and telling kids to get off my lawn or not. But there's
No,
something
in my
weird.
in my experience, like DVD or Blu-ray menus could be a little more complicated, I guess. And it
Like,
doesn't mean that they were necessarily designed right. But
yeah, yeah. But
I just don't know. Like, I just don't know like about the term dislike Blu-ray. I'm just trying to think like we dislike Blu-rays because
I don't know.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the
Like the
disc.
menu, maybe. Like, I'm looking for Mitch to clarify it in chat. I want to hear Mitch say why he dislikes Blu-rays before I
Like,
move on with the show.
and
Sorry, I'm just gonna sit here like this.
is it all is it all Blu-rays? Like just like a Blu-ray of anything, you know?
I mean, sadly, I mean, I hate that it's not on Blu-ray. I understand that the original source material was not SD or it was SD.
Yeah.
I get that, but you know, DVD is not SD either. You know, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got a Blu-ray optical drive for Christmas and a couple Blu-ray disc anime DVDs, but I couldn't play the discs for a bunch of reasons.
Oh, okay. It's probably region. Well, I don't know. Are Blu-rays
It
region?
could be Blu-rays are region locked like
Okay.
DVDs. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
That's frustrating,
maybe it could
though.
just be, you know, like an an adoption issue as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you don't have like a system that like, you know, that like plays Blu-rays like consistently or well, I could see
Yeah.
how it would be annoying because you're like, well, I'm on DVD, but whenever I have a Blu-ray now, I've got to like grab this optical drive that's hooked up to my computer and I
Yeah.
have to put it in there and I have to like, you know, fuck around and try to play it. And I'm not watching it on my TV. I'm watching it on my computer now. And like, do you know what I mean? Like I can see where that's like, yeah, that's just a user annoyance issue.
Yeah.
Blu-rays. Let's see. Man, Paul Calico's in the chat, bro. What up, fellow Turtletarians? Hope all's well.
Yeah.
All's well. All's a lot better now. Now that I'm not freaking dying. I got a whole story about that. But then, let's see. John Clemens, Blu-rays, higher cost players and discs for marginal AV improvement. Man,
I don't know. I don't know if I could get on board with that. I don't know.
No. I'm sorry, John.
Oh,
I'm sorry, John.
Mm.
Higher cost players and discs compared to DVD because DVD's on blowout. Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like VHS was more affordable than DVD when DVD came out because it was the golden age of VHS where they were putting out like 4 VHS copies of movies with like special features and shit like on tape and shit, and it was like I loved it because like every release was a wild ass box of VHS tapes because they were trying to compete to do what a DVD did on one disc.
Right.
So I have nostalgic love for that era, but it wasn't that it was like close to the quality of DVD.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, being in like audio major, the audio improvement on DVD or on Blu-ray is ridiculously better than DVD.
Just the compression
you can
alone,
be lossless on
yeah.
Blu-ray versus, you know, because that's one thing that Eric and I learned in audio school is that for ever until Blu-ray and HD DVD had a similar like good thing for audio. Audio is always the like redheaded stepchild to video on any format. So for example, like your VHS tape, for example, there is 1/16 of an inch dedicated on that tape to audio.
Yeah.
And that's a stereo program, meaning that it gets 1/32 of an inch.
Yeah.
for each channel, while the tape gets the video gets the rest of that tape.
Right.
Okay. DVD was similar. The highest quality you could get was CD quality. So
Yeah.
red laser CD, CD codec, red book format. Um, while the movie got the rest of the data.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, so Blu-ray was the first time that there was compressionless audio.
Yeah.
So as far as the audio equivalent, it was much better.
That's
for
kind of
us.
where I was seeing it was like the just the storage space too on it. That like so back when they came out and they were like consumer level, you could get the Blu-ray burners and stuff. I was backing up all my like digital files and everything on that and being like, oh, 4 gigs, yes, like this is way better than 800 megs or whatever a DVD is.
That's not to diss on DVD because it was God.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
when it came out, and how many of us have stored data on rewritable DVDs? I mean, like it just, that was before flash technology was good enough that flash drives could hold a lot of data. DVD was God. And I wouldn't have been able to move sessions over to Eric's house and all this other shit if we didn't have DVD written stuff. So like, it worked up to that.
Yeah.
And then Mitch says, not to mention before that, I got a movie on Blu-ray and I couldn't play them because I had no player. Yeah, I know about the Xbox thing, but I can never figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly, Xbox / Toshiba went with HD DVD in previous formats, and they were really slow to come out to adopt blue technology, which is just annoying. But you never bet against Sony.
Never.
That's the problem.
Never.
Like, so I'm gonna tell you all this because some of you guys are as old as us, some are younger than us, whatever. I'm just gonna give you this piece of advice before we move on. Never bet against Sony. In the future, when they're trying to figure out like, oh, now we're going to augmented reality everything, and everyone's gonna have augmented reality glasses. If Sony has a format, go with it.
Yeah, go with it.
I don't care who has the other one. I don't care about Apple. I don't care about anybody. If Sony or Philips gets behind a thing, choose the thing, and you will not lose.
Yeah. But if Wilson Phillips goes with anything, don't go with them. Just
Wilson Phillips will have you like in a barn listening to like the only copy of their album on this weird format, and that basically be it.
Because think about it, their whole thing is holding on for one more day. Just hold on. Like they're constantly begging you to like stick with them, and they're not fulfilling their promise. You know what I'm saying? Someday somebody's going to turn around and say goodbye. Till then, make you cry. Words. I don't know. I can't remember all the lyrics anymore because I kind of.
You can go. You can change.
Yeah.
You do the back. We start going back and forth, and then when you're done doing the back and forth thing,
right?
Like, you've got a shit ton of HD DVDs.
Exactly.
Like, you just own every movie ever on HD DVD.
Yeah.
And you like open your phone up to go like, oh man, I'm about to go brag on this on social media, and then you see Toshiba like, we folded the HD DVD program, and you're like,
dang it.
HD DVD no longer supported. You're like, cool.
Right. Well, John Clemens says that he could be loud and wrong sometimes. So thanks for admitting that. We all can. No one here is immune from that.
No,
that's what I was trying to say.
Hell no. You've heard us.
Oh yeah, we're the kings of loud and wrong. God, I'm getting so tongue tied. Paul Calicote. Can't wait for that complete set though. Had a hell of a time tracking 2003 series. Each DVD had a story arc, and the side of the DVD case matched up to make a picture until the later seasons. Yeah, I loved that about those.
That's pretty sweet.
And yeah, I was resistant because I always thought that they were gonna do like a full run of it because they spaced them out like in a weird way that was like really like obnoxious in the sense of releases. And so I was like, I'm just gonna wait till they get them all done and then I'll get them, and then that never came. And but I saw this on one of the TMNT groups that I'm on Facebook, and the person posted it like they didn't give any information or whatever. They just posted the image, but it wasn't like somebody that posted it being like, look at this, let's talk about it. It was more just like they said a bunch of stuff, but not the information you needed for this, like the release date and all that. So, I think Mitch set it up in there. So thank you, Mitch, for dropping that on there. The what date? I can't scroll up. I gotta move to the other thing. But yeah, we did. We say that was coming out July 25th. Yeah. So that's going to be awesome. I am definitely going to get that because we are definitely going to cover that in 10 years
we're gonna need it.
When we get there. And it's going to be glorious. And I'm so excited about it because I was thinking about it recently about that set specifically on how we were going to procure that and get it, because it's coming up. It'll be here before you know it. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, John Clemens says 2003 strongest series, maybe second to 2012. Yeah, yeah. As far as the animated series go, that's a fair assessment. It doesn't do everything right, and there's certain things that rub me a little weird about it, but there's not any one of them that have been out that have nailed everything. As far as like, I have this weird aversion to the color palette sometimes on that show, and I'm because I have a weird thing with I call it synesthesia, but I don't. I think it's just related to synesthesia.
Yeah, I don't think it is. We've had this conversation before.
But it's similar enough to where it affects me, to where I'm like, I just closely relate this stuff to like how I view and remember these things, and it's just a very drab color palette, and that could be, if we go back and watch it again, I don't have it and it totally fixes it. I don't know. But
yeah,
just off the dome right now, like, that's my first thought with it. But then again, a lot of 2012 had a lot of potty humor that I didn't care for. So it's, a lot of different things can go either way. So it's just neat to see that just another representation is going to actually have some physical media that we can consume. And that's going to be real exciting. And I'm looking forward to it. Let's see.
I mean, there's a lot. So Paul says 2003 is definitely neck and neck with 2013. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see, because I've never seen the 03 series, so I'm interested to get when we get into that, and then I saw a good deal of 2012. So at that point, I'll be able to start like actually making like those comparisons myself, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
And then John says he's figured out how to judge a TMNT animated series.
Oh,
the amount and quality of Miyamoto Usagi appearances.
Oh, yeah, that's usually
like
a good.
That's a stat, that you have to track. Third place, 87. Second place, 03. First place, 2012.
Oh, okay.
No entry, Rise and Next Mutation. Yeah.
Oh, well, spoiler. Thanks. Yeah. Now we know not to mess with those. We're gonna talk about
and then Paul
Miyamoto
agrees.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. That's one of my favorite things about the 03 series. When they do the stuff with Usagi Yojimbo, and that's that was a lot of fun. I specifically remember watching them. I don't know that they were coming out if it at the same time or not, or Father Preston and I both had the same set of files that we were going through, and we were watching them, and we'd call each other and talk about them afterwards. And it was really, it's kind of like a proto Turtle Soup, essentially.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of good memories about that.
See, well, I mean, Turtletarians, that you deep dive enough to know. I mean, Father Preston was Eric's first pick to co-host Turtle Soup. So
he was.
You know what I mean? So I mean, like, I'm just gonna
that,
say that out here. I mean, I know where I stand in the pecking order.
I mean, that's also because you had a ton of stuff on your plate at the time.
Yeah, I did have a ton of stuff.
So I mean, there was no other way around it. And I think you and I had talked about doing it anyway, but you were just like, I don't know. We had to have talked about it, but
we talked about it, but I didn't feel offended at the time. It's not like you and I had like cooked all this up, and then all of a sudden you were like recording with Preston. Like, that's not how it was. Like, you did the thing with Preston, and then you and I talked a lot more about the show, and then we did this. Yeah. So it wasn't, that was like proto soup.
I don't know. I have no memory of, like, I remember there's a disconnect between the Preston episode that we did, and then I remember that day that we did it. It was obnoxious. Every single person I know came to my house that day while we were recording.
I was there.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
Yeah, you were
like,
there.
I was there, and it was a bunch of other people, and you guys were trying to like watch the 90 movie.
Yeah.
And then trying to talk about it at like a table with two microphones, like recording into your computer. And I was like outside with like 8 people, and everyone's like, what the fuck are they doing in there? Oh my God, we're doing this podcast thing. It was completely like, it was so weird. It's so weird that I was there when all those other people were there.
Right. It was super weird. But it got us where we are today. So there we go.
Well, I think like when you woke up that morning, you probably sneezed, but like you like held your hands, and it sounded like a conch shell.
Oh,
and then it called all the people.
Yeah.
But they had to walk there, so it took them a while.
That's true.
So at first you didn't see the effect, but then they got there, and you're like, oh my God.
Oh yeah,
with the conch shell.
Exactly. Yeah, they had to walk there. Here.
So tonight is pretty packed. So the way we're going to move down the show tonight is we are going to read some emails from Malik that have been kind of kicking it back. kicking around because they were a bit long for Prime. Then we are going to kind of take a break, talk to you guys again, and kind of talk about ourselves and kind of what we've been up to the last couple of days or a couple of weeks, because Eric and I haven't caught up in a long time. I just know him and I have been like stressed, and I've been sick and shit, and it's been terrible. And then we got some Turtles news for you guys that we're going to run for you live, and then probably, not gonna lie, probably gonna clip and cut it, put it on YouTube. Yeah, so
Probably.
you're here for it. So you ready to get underway?
Yeah, let's do it.
So these are two lengthier emails by Malik that I'm going to read out. I am going to kind of go through them pretty quickly because they are rather long. But we might pause here and there and discuss and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, he just said something in chat.
Oh yeah, he said he apologizes.
Some emails just tend to repeat. Assumed you didn't get in the first second time. Yeah, so you happened to write a lot of this stuff when we were in a really patchy time with emails. So this might just be a chance to have a conversation right now about it. So we are dedicated to trying. So our first priority is to get primes out, right? Like, and Eric and I have talked this out. Trying to keep primes out. We were doing weekly soup, and they were all primes for quite a while, and it was very easy when we were doing like comics. Like we were doing this all through volume 3 of Mirage. Yeah. We were doing this all through everything, and not Mirage, Image basically, but Image and stuff. And we were very easy to do the weekly soup. However, whenever we get to like this is like a live action show, but like a show or something like that, it starts to get a lot harder for us to do it weekly. There's a lot of research involved, a lot of planning, and then things also get kind of busy for us. So the emails that are shorter wind up getting read, frankly, because we can like squeeze them into like the beginning of a prime, right? However, the chef specials and stuff are our first priority to cut if we can't do it, right? So we would rather do a prime than a chef special because that gets the episode out to everybody, right? Through all the audio aggregators and the podcast, there's another step in the journey. And we're always going to prioritize a step in the journey. So when it comes to longer emails, because Malik brings it up, when it comes to like longer emails, probably better to keep your emails kind of shorter because they get through the chain faster for us. So what I hate to see is like someone who writes a really long email like Malik has, and it just keeps getting kicked back and kicked back and kicked back just based on the priorities of the show. You know what I'm saying? So I want to apologize, number one, for emails getting read late, especially if they're longer. And two, I wanted to kind of, as a message to people in the future, that if it's a longer email that we can pick apart, like that's got a lot of questions and a lot of like, what do you think about this? And what does everyone think about that? Like those kind of questions, probably pretty good for a chef special thing. Whereas like longer emails that are a little bit more in depth just on like what you're thinking or whatever, they tend to kick around, and I feel bad about that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I want to apologize about, number one, about it, and number two, almost like kind of just openly kind of talk about the fact that like why they kick around, basically. And the reason they kick around is because we look at it and go, well, number one, if it's too long to read in a prime, we can't do it because the priority is prime.
Yeah.
So it falls back to chef special and like a mailbag.
Yeah.
But then if a chef special gets kicked because we don't have the time, or one of us is sick, or one of us is something's going on, then it kicks again. Then we do a prime again, and they go, well, we can't do it now because of prime. And the can fly down the road for quite a while before we've been to pick it over. You know what I'm saying? We've been to pick it up. So like this email is from April 12th. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's a movie, I'd like grab the email and like blow dust off.
Blow dust off of it. Yeah.
But yeah, like in the future, emails, more streamlined emails are just like a little bit better. Just because we really want to read everybody's stuff, but we know we can do it if it's snappier. And that makes us feel better. I'm sure it makes you guys feel better because the emails get read. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, in the future, everybody writing emails, if we can just tighten them up a bit, that would help us a lot in getting it out and have people not get kicked down the road and stuff. Because it's not just been Mitch, it's been other people too that write very long, very well thought out emails. But sometimes with the timing, we look at it and go like, man, like, we're stuck between sewer and a hard shell or something, or what you want to say. It's kind of like not great. Oh, Shell Shock Sheldon's in the chat. Mondo, awesome. Oh,
Oh,
awesome. Welcome.
thank
I don't know
you.
if I've seen that screen name before. If you're first time, welcome. This is a chef special.
If you're not, then I don't know.
I feel like, well, you can change your handle on.
Oh,
on,
you're right. You're
on
right. You're
YouTube.
right.
So whatever. You know,
I'm
I
just
try
messing
to
with you.
acknowledge. When I see a
I
new
know.
Turtletarian show up, I'm like, here, have a little bit of ooze. I'll hold you in my hands and turn you into a baby turtle person. Like, you know what I mean? I'm always trying to like spread that plan. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of course, of course. I was just messing with you. Just giving you
just
the
busting
dozens.
balls. You want someone to bust balls?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, watch out, he might show up. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You know what I mean? You do not want this guy.
I don't. I don't.
This guy listened to every Tool album, yelled about it the whole time, and then that's what happened to me. That was part of why my week was so crap.
Oh, of course.
He's like, I gotta go back and read them all, listen to them all, so I can hate him more. And you're like, okay, man, like, why do you waste so much energy on that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so much energy spent hating something,
unnecessary,
and it's terrible. So, bam, from April 12th of the year of our Lord 2023. This is Malik, a super special sewer message. Greeting good buds of the good guys in green. It's Malik here. Figured I'd write you guys to make sure y'all know I'm still alive and kicking. In April. If you guys didn't get my emails, I decided to package them together. So there's some different stuff, which this isn't repeats. This is like the 2 emails that were packaged together. And we start off the bat with a couple mutations blurbs that if you guys aren't familiar, the back of the toy boxes, some of our best episodes are us like reading the back blurbs of these toys.
Yes.
And trying to sell them to each other, and it's super fun. So Malik has a couple up. So I was thinking that we could take turns reading them.
Okay.
I'll take Donnie, because I always normally would. And then you could take the second one, Leo, if you're good with that.
I can take Leo. Yep, I can take Leo. Got it.
You good?
Yep.
Boom. This is a rewritten blurb for Mutating Donatello, the radically changing reptile. Vital Mutistics.
Ooh.
Fastest mutation time, 4 sewer seconds.
Now
that's canon, because they do talk about sewer seconds. I don't know how long those are.
I don't either. But...
Favorite food before mutation? Fish flesh and mayo.
Oh. I don't want to yuck no one's yum, though. We probably...
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, I don't want to I haven't tried
Favorite food after mutation? Pizza and sushi.
Oh, okay. Like two separate things or all together? I'm curious.
I think the and is a big one.
It's a big one. There's a lot riding on that.
It'd be just sushi pizza if not.
That's true.
I would think.
That's what I would think too. Yeah. So anyway,
you ready for this? I'm gonna sell this toy to you. You're gonna buy the shit out of it.
I got my wallet ready. I got my debit card.
No, like that 1999 just right there. You ready?
Ooh, ready.
Oh, it's a high dollar. Yeah. But they were $9.99 back in the day, right? Was it $10?
Oh, probably that for the one that
mutates for a Playmate. Yeah.
No more than 9. I don't think. No more than that.
No more than 9. Okay.
Yeah, so it might be like 6 or 7, but who knows?
Oh, okay. What do you get when you cross a pet shop turtle, human contact, and a splash of Dimension X's purple mutagen?
Oh. I don't know.
You might think you know, but you don't. Chances are you'll get Donatello, the turtle's brawling brainiac. When he's not in a battle, sorry, my glasses are messed up. When he's not in a battle or inventing some wacky new gizmos, Don likes his peace and quiet so he can catch up on his reading. So a twist here, a turn there, and ta-da! Nobody's going to think about bothering a pet shop turtle. Why the hell would they do that? Or bugging him to autograph their tools.
Oh, dang.
Boom. That's radically changing reptile Donatello.
Have you ever had anyone asked to autograph their tool? Or your tool? Or their... Have you ever wanted your tool autographed by somebody?
Yeah, the gazebo ones, but we could just move on.
Oh, the gazebo! Oh,
yeah.
Goodness!
You might say I used to sign autographs out there. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of meet and greets. Woo! You know what I'm saying?
Literally, MEAT. Got it. Good God! Why do people listen to us? Oh man,
I have no idea.
That was good. I'd drop some pennies on that, Donnie. All right, Mutating Leonardo. You ready for this?
I only got $10.
You want so tax is gonna
So
you might have to borrow some.
I might have to ask the cashier to cover 20 cents of that or something.
You're gonna have to
gotta
Merle
get,
Hagler the.
I'm gonna have to Merle Hagler. I got $10.
You're gonna have to Merle
That's
Hagler
it,
the
so.
KB Toys associate, and yeah. Mutating Leonardo, the legendary leader with a whole new look. Vital Mutistics. Here we go.
All right. What's that?
Fastest mutation time. Too fast to clock. He's a speedy son of a gun, ain't he?
That actually really fits with the toy descriptions because they would have one line that was the same.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, okay, so who's got the fastest mutation time? And then one person would have 4 seconds, super seconds. One guy would be too fast to clock.
Right.
One would be, wouldn't you want to know?
Yeah.
And then the other one would be it'd be like 6 New York seconds.
Yeah, it's a different time.
I can't even compare the Vital Mutistics, dude.
Right.
Like, it's horseshit.
Yeah. Favorite food before mutation? Algae and jelly sandwiches. After mutation is rice, fish, salads, apples, pizza. Okay, that's
very diverse.
Oh yeah, his gut health has got to be amazing. Here we go.
Wow.
15 years ago, 4 or 5, depending on what universe you look at, tiny turtles were doused with a strange purple ooze. And over time, they grew into man-sized mutant heroes. Man-sized.
Man-sized.
It's a size.
Yeah.
With just a few twists and a couple of shifts.
Man.
With just a few twists and a couple of shifts, you yourself could be man-sized, and we could tell you how if you listen to all the steps of the turtle soup. This innocent turtle can turn from pushover pet into the sword-swinging, foot-stomping king of the katanas, the god of the Ginsus, Leonardo. Eager for an opportunity to put Splinter's new lessons about stealth to the test, Leo decided to give his experiment a shot. It's a perfect opportunity for him to get the drop on those fiendish foot. And that stinker shredder too. There you go. Man.
Oh, man. So I was about to mention when you were done that Man-Sized is a PJ Harvey song. And then Father Preston in the chat says some PJ Harvey action.
Dang, Father Preston. Thank you for coming.
The Man-Sized and the Man-Sized cello version.
Ooh.
Literally 2 versions on the same album. Rid of Me, which is one of PJ Harvey's best records. Probably her best record.
I think all cellos are man-sized, aren't they? Because they're pretty big.
All turtles?
But not all cellos. But not all
cellos.
But not all men are big. I guess anyone could be a man nowadays. So I mean,
1 metric man.
1 metric man. 1 metric man. It sounds like
1 metric man size.
sounds like.
Got my leather boots on.
Yep. Are those the lyrics?
It's a line from the song.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, boy, you need to sit down with that Rid of Me, bro. You know what I'm saying? That PJ Harvey, you did, but you didn't know about Man-Size.
I didn't.
You know
I bought it. I own it.
But you ain't sit with it.
I ain't sit with it in a minute. I probably need to, but like at least I didn't let her sit in the Goodwill where I found her. You know what I'm saying? So I was like,
dude.
oh.
So dead ass. If you guys are like PJ Harvey, Rid of Me, like that's a weird record. I don't know if I want to listen to that whole record. If you just want a dose of it, just literally look up the song "Mist" from that record. Missed. It's like one of my favorite songs she ever wrote. It's track 2. Say Man-Size. We got
Man-Sized.
I'll say it a lot.
I'll say anything y'all want me to say in the chat. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, John Clemens did drop a reference to Sandwich Con, which I'm a fan of. I'm glad that we're keeping that going.
Oh, nice.
And Sandwich Con would be weird, by the way. Keep Sandwich Con weird.
We should.
All right. So we had to stay on task.
Right, let's keep going.
Dive back. Okay. Also, when I was listening to one of your older episodes, it inspired me to come up with a weird idea for Bebop's backstory. Born to a prestigious family, the boy who could become Bebop was sent to a stuffy, upright boarding school called Hogsley School for Boys or something like that. It's just the twas.
Twas. Just out of nowhere. Twas will get you.
I'm sorry. It really got me. 'Twas here that the young man developed his taste for junk food and jazz music.
Okay.
Wanting more and having a taste for rebellion, he snuck out of school and joined up with, I guess, the 87 universe's equivalent of the Purple Dragon.
I still love
jazz.
Are
we like new jazz swing?
Right. Yeah. I still love how
how old is he?
Yeah, like who knows? Like I don't know.
Like how old? Like is Bebop so old that like getting into jazz music was like subversive at the
Well,
time.
right. Well, the thing is too is though, like, was his name Bebop? Because like that's already a
No.
musical style. So like
Mm-hmm.
if he has a nickname that's Bebop, like,
Mm.
but he was into
Hogsley,
jazz.
yes.
Hmm.
Hogsley Wood School for Boys. That reminds me of is it a Spinal Tap? Is it in Spinal Tap or is it a Spinal Tap outtake where like they talk about like I think it's the president of Polymer Records runs, is it Hogswood or something, like a school for pasty young
yeah.
boys?
I think that's in the
You
in
remember
the
that?
movie. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. It's a boarding school for pasty young boys.
Yeah, of course.
So then he dropped some details about Heroes in a Hard Shell. Just I'll cover some of these. April's a mix of her Rise in 2012 incarnations, dark-skinned, redheaded teenage girl. Zach is the version of her adopted brother, which is interesting. And Ting was not murdered in this continuity. She was mutated into a humanoid cat.
And Heroes in a Hard Shell is Mitch's
Mitch's
thing, right? That he's writing.
Yeah, the fanfic thing he was doing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of talk about Bebop being 19, and John's like, looks you rough for 19. And in the animated series, before he gets mutated, that is rough for 19. That is really rough for 19. It says Venus will be included, but she'll be the turtle's biological sister, not a love interest, which I think is fine. I think that's kind of how I.
And it makes it more interesting if she is a love interest and they're related. So I mean, I'm just saying, from a reader's perspective.
I wound up tonight talking to my kids over dinner because Alicia's not here. She went to dinner with some
Alicia,
friends.
your wife.
So yeah, so so when me and the two kids get talking, we talk about some weird shit. Because Alicia's not there to be like, yeah, this conversation is weird or annoying. So we just talk about whatever. And we wound up getting into like eugenics, and like I was telling them about that and about like stuff about that. Then we start talking about like genetic stuff, and then we start talking about like inbreeding and like why that's bad, and like and all this stuff, and it wound up in this conversation about like step siblings. It was really weird. It's a really weird conversation,
right?
But
I'm glad you did
that. But in that we got into like the thing we talked about on Chef Special or Prime before about like cousin marriage and different stuff like that. It was very weird. Yeah, it was good. It was a good conversation.
But we're good. I love that.
Always educational. I was trying to bring the like, how eugenics worked and how it informed a lot of awful Nazi stuff, and then like it was just talking about all this different stuff. It was very interesting. We talked like DNA editing and like gene editing. It was very interesting. All right, so the next topic in this email is during the 80s and 90s, and a few times in the early to mid 2000s, novelizations of video games were released to the public market. And it says many of examples can be found in Scholastic's World of Power novel series, as well as Donkey Kong Country and Sonic the Hedgehog novel tie-ins by author Michael Teltenbaum for Troll Communications, as well as some Sonic novels published by Virgin Publishing. All right, Mitch, listen. Mitch, how do you know this shit?
Yeah, I've never heard of this.
I'm reading this and I'm like, this is like real in depth.
Yeah,
like, this is like really, really in depth. I'm like, man, you know a lot about this.
I did not know. I had no idea that there were Donkey Kong novelizations.
Donkey Kong Country novelizations,
which
dude. That
sounds
is like
wild.
way out there. Yeah.
Like I knew that there were Sonic the Hedgehog comics that are more recent and that are pretty good, or at least the Mega Man tie-ins, because I was reading Mega Man and I loved it. But yeah, I like legit novelizations. That's wild.
Mitch comes in the chat to it's pronounced title ball. The author's name. And he's been looking for him for years. Mitch is on that.
Oh, man.
It's just, I'm reading that, and as I'm reading it, I'm going like, yo, this is like in depth.
Dude,
like,
I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for this too. Not that I necessarily want them, but I just want to see them.
Like Diddy Kong, like Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you find out in the book. You know what I'm saying? Like you figure it out.
Oh, you'll see.
You figure out. Figure out if he did or no, you didn't.
That's got to be the name of one of those books, or at least a chapter.
Oh, it would have to
be.
It would have to be.
Have to be.
Considering these ideas prompted me into my head to head the query. How would you guys go about adapting the NES TMNT video game from '89 into a novel/chapter book? And that That's interesting to me because while I feel like the TMNT NES game has stuff going on, definitely. I always found it to be one of the most confusing games.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like as far as a story, like maybe that would like let you kind of like do more with it.
To kind of
But
make
that
it
game,
make sense.
yes, that game always
Yeah,
felt like a fever dream to me.
it did. It absolutely did. Like
Like,
I even had a dream where like you
you
could
know,
go a different way the first time you play the game, and then that
yeah,
was
like
it, and it was your game was stuck. That I had this weird memory of this, and then yeah, no, that was just wild. But that's
the game
the
just
kind of thing around that game that was so wild.
it plays like a fever dream. There's like all these like Rat Kings, but they're not called Rat King, but it's Rat King, and like there's just like a lot going on in that game. Like I think if I was to write a novel of that, it would like break my mind almost. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, it does say, like, granted, lots of liberties would be taken, no doubt. But otherwise, I feel like this in the arcade game, as well as Turtles in Time and the Game Boy trilogy, could be adapted into novelization form, written by either one of the cartoon's writers, so Dave Wise, Francis Moss, Rowdy Gorin, or by one of the writers working at Mirage, so Dan Berger, Stephen Murphy, Steve Levine, Ryan Brown. They did do some chapter books about the Turtles before their first adventure to the surface,
Mm.
which I did not know.
Hmm.
Um, and the instruction manuals alone, excluding Back from the Sewers, came plenty of starter material. That is true. We did enjoy reading the instruction manuals for the books.
Oh, I love that.
Like for the games. So those were like, I mean, New York's Premier Kickman.
New
I
York's
mean,
Premier Kickman. I mean, come
that
on.
was
Ready for
if
Buttle?
if get serious.
Yeah, if Get Serious. Ready for Buttle.
Ready for Buttle.
But I don't know if that was in the instructions, but it was in the game. But yeah,
Says,
those instructions were fantastic.
Just,
That's how.
thanks to, sorry,
I was just gonna say, sorry. That's how we found out Roadkill Rodney's name.
that's true. It was first published there.
We were calling him the Unibot or whatever, and the Unibotter.
We call him the Unibotter.
Yeah, we both got there.
Which I mean, rip Ted Kaczynski this week.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I don't know. Probably not. But
Probably not, but still, someone had to say it.
Yeah. Rest in powder. Or whatever you just make those bombs. Yeah, my buddy and I were like talking. My buddy Odie and I were kind of chatting about that because, like, that the whole Unabomber thing when he was captured, like, happened like right in like the middle of high school for us. So it was we were just like very interested in all that, and
of course,
we read his manifesto at the time, and like it was interesting, being like, kind of like teenage kids who were into like alternative culture. It was like reading it and being like, man, like that's crazy.
Yeah,
we were just kind of like reminiscing on that whole time, and we are like, yeah, some of the stuff he said in that manifesto, like, I mean, it's pretty dead on for the way the world is now.
Yeah.
But also, like, you don't kill people over it,
Yeah, no.
It was like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, that was kind of strange. That guy lived a long time.
He did.
Yeah. Let's see here. Sorry, rest in powder got me completely fucked up here. But thanks to the aid of walkthrough videos nowadays, it's a lot easier to figure out how levels are supposed to play out without you having to either buy the game yourself or talk to the people who made the games, which can result in plenty of miscommunication and misinterpretations.
Yeah.
If anyone ever intends to do something for these, they should at least know that each turtle has a distinct way of talking. So know the turtles can't all talk in California surfer dudes speak, because that's Michelangelo's thing. Only he gets to do that, compadres. We've talked about that.
We have.
We're on board right now.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. There's some chat. Like, God. John Clemens says the underwater chat would be called "You Died."
You died.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that's it.
Craig will call it a Unibot. Mike will call it a Roadkill Rodney.
That's
interesting.
True. Yeah, I agree.
And Netflix series Manhunt Unabomb Chef's Kiss. It actually was really good. So this is okay. So I did watch that about a month ago. And it did make me reread the manifesto. Well, half of it. I reread half of his manifesto because of that. And have you ever read the Unabomber's manifesto?
No. I like to write my own. So
one thing I forgot.
I don't want to plagiarize.
I guess. So it's funny because I hadn't read it since high school.
Yeah.
And one thing I forgot about, I guess, is it's funny how times change politically and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I didn't really identify as liberal or left leaning or whatever when I was in high school. Although I had those ideals, I don't think it wasn't so much of a thing.
Right.
And things weren't so divided. I completely forgot about his whole like anti-leftist like rant he has in the beginning. Like before he gets into like the actual like technology's ruining society and blah blah blah.
Right.
He has this whole thing about how like, oh, the leftist is sick and they don't want America to succeed because America is strong. And I'm like, listen, man,
That
like get
doesn't
off
make
the
any
Rush
sense.
Limbaugh a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Well, I mean, that's the other thing too, is like you're
Now
reading this
post
and
it.
you're well, what's funny is you're reading this and I'm like kind of clutching my pearls. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, come on. And then I'm like, he's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you have to step back and go, oh no, that's the guy who killed people with bombs.
That's the guy that's so smart that he's crazy. So
He's
yeah.
so smart, he's crazy.
Right. So
Yeah,
I'm
like this is
smart,
the
but I'm
guy,
not crazy. So
yeah,
we're
that used
good.
to like save jugs of his own piss and then bomb people. And I'm
Oh,
gonna get offended because the crazy guy said something. I'm like, no, it's fine.
is that a
It's just not very
is
well
that a
thought out.
sign that you're crazy? Jugs of piss, because
Sends a text to Shannon like empty the bottles of piss.
yeah, to get them out of here.
It's obvious.
They're on
Um,
us.
Jesus Christ. Also, second, 1987 Fred Wolf rap is not the angsty, bloodthirsty, violent guy. He's the snarky, wisecracking guy. That's true. I mean, he gets changed a little later, but he's not
Yeah.
angry. The angry thing and the mean streak definitely was like more of like a Mirage continuity slash like movie like TMNT movie 1 and 2 continuity thing for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he says kind of saying anybody give this a shot if they wanted to. In fact, maybe I just might. Although I wouldn't mind seeing my fellow Turtletarians do a novelization of one of the games. Tournament fighters could probably have some kind of subplot between fights, so that way it isn't just punching folks. Perhaps one of the turtles who have been eliminated from the tourney is investigating some sort of sabotage plan that's going on. Was inspired by the Battle Nexus idea planned by fellow Turtletarian Gavino El Diablo Guapo, which I don't recognize that name, so it probably goes by another name on email. Because if they're a Turtletarian, I know about it, then I wouldn't recognize that name. Believe me, his stuff is nothing short of fantastic. So yeah, you guys go check it out. Yeah. And then he says, next time, rewriting a bunch of old blurbs and stuff. Because after I read them recently, I realized that the story blurbs have no freaking idea what they're tying into. That's true. They usually don't.
Yeah.
It's like the arcade game NES port is trying to be both tied into the cartoon and the 1990 film. Personally, you'd be better off tying it in entirely with the Fred Wolf tune, which is the 87 animated series.
Mhm.
Yep. So yeah, he says anyone who wants to try to write a novelization of those games, good luck and else time.
There you go. Else time.
Yeah. So let's see here. Let's check back in. I'll take a little break here.
Yeah. I think we caught up in chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So okay, so I'm gonna make an executive call because we are running really over
We
on
are.
this. So I'm gonna give you the flavor of the
Okay.
second email, which once again, Mitch, these are like incredibly detailed emails.
yeah,
like
and
and
definitely feel
there's
free
a
to
lot
share
of
them
work
in
here.
on the Facebook group and stuff, because
Yeah, that'd actually be kind of cool, Mitch. If you were cool with that, we don't share anything that people send us by email unless they expressly say that's cool. Besides reading them, but like sharing like in a written form what you wrote. If you want us to post that on the Facebook group, we totally will because these are cool. But yeah, what it effectively is he was listening to episode 52 where we were talking about our ideas for a TMNT movie. I think we actually like challenged each other like to cast your TMNT movie. Remember that? We
Yeah,
like went back
yeah.
and forth and it was kind of a contest. And
I
then
do.
when we got, it says that when you guys got to the topic of voice actors, you guys were basically drawing blanks, which is true because we don't
Yeah.
know that many voice actors.
Yeah.
In which then Malik says he has a litany of voice actors, and he does. In which he lists everybody that can play all the people.
Yeah.
And it's very well thought out. It is very in depth. It has references to every show they ever did. This should really be on the internet just because there's like so much to talk about for people that are into this. And cutting it apart because there's just a ton in here. And then he included 2 rewritten manual descriptions for 2 of the early TMNT video games because he had talked about rewriting that
Right.
before. And then so there's TMNT 1989. And then there is TMNT 2, the arcade game. And they are lengthy, like multi-paragraph, like stories and descriptions and kind of background into the thing. So what we're gonna do is we are going to post this. I'm gonna make a note. I gotta make a note. We're gonna post this on the Facebook group. That way, like, people can like read it in its entirety without me reading it for you. Because that's the other thing too. I don't think I'm gonna do as good a job of reading this as like you would have reading it, because it's like you're reading a manual, which I think is the point, right? Like that's the other thing. Like, you feel kind of dumb reading all this to people, and it's like, well, you could have just read that. Like, I could read it myself like a manual. You know
I mean, that's kind of gets to the point of our whole show too. But
no, you gotta watch out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be undermining the whole thing.
I get what you're saying. But
but those are steps in the journey. You see,
they are. But definitely
so,
check us out. We're gonna post
so
them,
we'll screenshot that and post it to the group, and then we can have a live discussion on the group for it.
Indeed.
But no, Malik, thanks for the emails, and obviously a lot of the intricate work. It is a ton of stuff, and your boy Malik's always up. Like, your boy is like, I'm gonna rewrite this shit.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, and then I'm gonna talk about this shit.
He ain't waiting.
And Mitch, your knowledge on voice actors and the way that the cartoons were done and stuff and like all that stuff is insane.
Absolutely.
Like that's just crazy.
Yeah.
It is so cool. I say crazy, that sounds wrong. It's I didn't mean it like that. I mean, like, that attention to detail is insane, because like I've been there on that, man, on that kind of thing. And like there's nothing better than when you know everything about something. It's like amazing. It's half the reason we're doing the show is to know everything about the Turtles effectively.
Right.
So we'll share that. And then Mitch did send a link over to those links back to those books he was talking about.
Oh, definitely.
Really
we're
crazy.
definitely going to need to put that on the
look
at
that. That sounds really fun.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot, Mitch. So Eric, dude, it's been like the weeks.
It has.
We've both been beat to hell.
We have.
I was super sick last week. You were beat the fuck up. So like, how have you been, buddy? What's been going on?
I'm all right. I'm just staying busy with the YouTube channel and everything, trying to get things in order, trying to get Patreon caught back up, because I totally did not get the last year's batch out. So to all our patrons that are still listening, you'll be getting a bigger package in a little bit. So I got all of the
bigger package.
I know. So I'm designing the new shirt that is going to come out, and then just getting all that stuff ready. I've been doing that, but then I'm probably gonna talk about this again on the show on Prime. But my dad and I went and saw Shin Kamen Rider at
I saw that.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was really weird because we got there, and Farmer Greg was there with our friend David. They were there to see the press release for Flash, and it was like pandemonium at your movie theater. And they had like
paper plate
pandemonium, all the stuff, all the words.
Wow.
And they had like lines everywhere, people with clipboards everywhere, sending people everywhere. And then like there's just a little just a select few of very strange people going into this other theater, and that's where I was going. And and I go in, and you know when you go to the movies, they have the before the movie plays, the Fandango, like Tom Cruise has been in this movie, but which movie had all that stuff? They had the same thing for this, except it was all Ultraman quizzes, and I'm like,
that's cool.
This is really cool. I don't know really
normally
much of anything.
Those make me want to die.
Right. But this was amazing because I'm seeing this on a massive screen, so it was really neat. But my dad kept going, D. He kept yelling the letter D
answer?
out.
Oh,
yeah.
Just
he had no idea. But I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? He goes, D's always all of the above. D's always all of the above. So I'm like, Dad, that's not even on the option. That's not. You're just saying D. And then the answer is D. And I'm like, you motherfucker. How? Next one. D. The answer is D. I'm like, this is weird. 3 in a row. D. And he's just cackling. He's like, oh my God. And it was amazing. It was really neat. But it was fun. It was fun seeing that. But that got me on this Ultraman thing, dude. Oh, oh goodness.
Oh,
So
old school.
dude, 66 is when it started, more or
Mm,
less. I'm gonna bore you for a minute real quick. So
sure.
I was studying it, and like, or we'll go into Wikipedia and looking at it. Apparently
Mm.
it started off as a series, something, and I'm getting all of this is all gonna be probably wrong, but more or less it started off as Ultra Q, which was the name of a show that they wanted to do that was going to be their version of the Twilight Zone and doing like Rod Serling
Oh,
stuff. And they were like, "Oh, that's cool, but then we want to now we want to repurpose it because big giant monsters are popular." And so they
oh
do
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And then it takes this turn, and it's kind of called both things, Ultra Q and Ultraman, and it's very neat. Very sick. It's very much like Godzilla and '60s Batman. Like there's a lot of
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Like
you,
capering and weird stuff.
you don't get the pow and all that stuff, but there's certain hallmarks of that era, especially in any
Yes.
like superherodom or detectiveness. And
It's like the acting like style, the like there's a lot. The
right.
blocking,
Oh,
they'll share a lot of similarities.
absolutely. And it's comforting for some reason to me. And
Mhm.
it's really neat to watch it progress. And yeah, so now I'm kind of in it. And I've always been avoiding Ultraman for a while. Like since I got into like a lot of this stuff. And yeah, now I'm kind of in it, and it's gonna be a
I mean,
while
you know
because
me, man.
yeah.
I get on that close ass vibe. Like I vibed it, like I vibed super hard on that first Kamen Rider he showed me
Oh yeah, guy.
because it was like the '70s like
Oh,
long form like
black.
black, yes.
Yeah.
Like it was like long form, like 45-minute episode, like mysteries, and they were it was all always dark and grainy. And dude,
Yeah.
like I could just sit with that shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's like that's like if you ever get a chance to mess with that Kolchak,
Oh
the
yeah.
TV show Kolchak,
Yeah.
dude. I could watch those things all day. Like I love that vibe, dude. I'm on that plan. So
Yeah.
like I feel like when you get into a vibe, you're like, okay, I can like watch anything from this.
Right.
Like I could
And
just sit and do this.
so I've just been totally getting in on that, and that's pretty much been
That's
my
awesome.
life. So how you been?
Man, it's been a whirlwind. So we went to Chicago. Me and Alicia, my wife.
Oh yeah.
We went there. We were there for parts of. We were there for let's see, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, so we were there for like 4 days,
Yeah.
and we packed as much Chicago as we could get into it. It was like it was so fun.
Oh, that's
Like
awesome.
just a few recollections. We went and saw Wrigley.
Oh,
So
okay.
we saw the Cubs. We saw the Rays play at the Cubs at Wrigley, and that was super
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
And then we saw the Angels play at the White Sox the next day because we wanted to see both stadiums, but the Rays weren't playing both teams, obviously. So,
Yeah.
um, and very different ballparks, but they were so much fun.
Yeah.
Um, the people in Chicago were great. Like, wearing my Rays gear after the game, and we lost. Like, just people in the street, like, we got you today. I'm like, yeah, yeah, whatever. You know, it was like a lot of fun, a lot of gentle jawing back and forth.
Yeah.
I got to do the elevated train, and we used the train and bus to go everywhere.
Oh yeah.
It
It's
was so
wonderful.
cool.
Oh, it's awesome.
It was amazing. And have you been to Chicago?
No. No. No.
So the cool thing about Chicago versus other big cities, which is kind of neat, is that Chicago's architecture is so crazy, and there's buildings from just every era just right next to each other, and it's very crazy.
Yeah.
Everything's a landmark.
Oh.
Like everything's a landmark.
Yeah.
So like I found within like 2 or 3 days, I had like a lock on like downtown Chicago. I could just no matter where we were,
Right.
I just kind of knew roughly where. I'd look up and see like, Sears Tower,
Hmm.
and then look and I'd see like Sears Tower,
Yeah.
then I'd see like Trump Tower, and I'd be
Yeah.
like,
Ooh.
we are southeast of our
Hmm.
apartment. Like our hotel. I never lost track of where I was there.
Oh,
It
that's
was
cool.
really weird.
Yeah.
And everything's it's basically Gotham City, which is great. And
Gotham City.
and yeah, the elevated train was great. Just the L in general was awesome. And let's see, we got to see a lot of really cool stuff. I got to go to the Jackson Park where the 1893 World's Fair was.
Oh, neat.
And I got to kind of like close the loop on a lot of that, which
Hmm.
was super fun.
Yeah.
And there was it's funny because they're building the Obama Presidential Library in Jackson Park.
Hmm.
They're working on that. So like some of it was kind of tore up toward the south side of it, which was a little weird.
Yeah.
But the Museum of Science and Industry building was the old Palace of Fine Arts from the World's Fair. It's one of the only 2 buildings that still stand from the fair.
Yeah.
And that building is fucking massive. Like you just like can't get. And when you realize that like that building was like a middle size building they built for that place and for the fair, you're like, oh my God. And so some of it's run down. They had like there's a lagoon that they cut into the park, which is insane. That's still there, and the water goes right up to the steps of the museum.
Okay.
And it was intended for you to take gondolas, and people took gondolas through the canal and like would pull up to that Palace of Fine Arts and go in there.
Oh yeah.
So you can stand on those back steps and look at that lagoon and stuff, and you're like, shit, like this is literally where people did this. Like this is like literally where like men in their best coats and shit were like getting off. It was just, it was really magical for me. I don't know what it was. So, but a lot of it's kind of old and kind of weird. And they haven't taken very good care of the grounds, so you're kind of like, it's weird. So, this is probably the most remarkable thing that ever happened. So, we're walking around the Museum of Science and Industry.
Yeah.
And there's a trail to what's called the Wooded Island. Okay. And it's an island that they, once again, preserved there, that they had cut lagoons around. And the whole thing was the south of the fair was these huge buildings. Yeah. And it was like the court, what they call the Court of Honor. So the women's building, the manufacturers building, the mining building, they were all at the south and they were gigantic. The manufacturers building had the largest unsupported roof in the world. It like at the time, it was insane.
Yeah.
That's all like golf courses and stuff now. But then there was the lagoons that went up north to the Palace of Fine Arts, and then there was the Wooded Island.
Yeah.
And there was a lot in this book I read about like how they wanted to preserve it and make it very like, so the idea was you're in the Court of Honor, then you walk through this wooded island that's all nature, and then you pop out at the Palace of Fine Arts, and it's this whole thing.
Right.
So I'm walking around, and the guy who basically created architectural landscaping like worked on that site. So like when you're walking through it, you see all the hills and you realize that literally everything you see from different angles was designed by him. And like he moved earth to make these things happen.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
So you see little glimpses of it here and there. And I'm like, oh shit, this is kind of wild. Walk onto the wooded island, and there's the place where the Japanese pavilion was.
Oh, okay.
A lot of countries had little pavilions all around the fair, and states had their own buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
The Japanese took the wooded island and they built a little pavilion on it. And I'm walking in that area, and they have these beautiful gardens, right? And I'm like, shit. And I'm walking, and I turn and look at the museum.
Yeah.
And I really wish I could share pictures in chat. This fucking Japanese garden, there's water, then there's this little stone bridge, and then you see the museum come up. And you just realize, like, a man made that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a man
that's wild.
Had a vision of, like, if you were to walk through the gardens and look back at the Palace of Fine Arts, it's like a fucking painting, but it's real life. And it gave me chills. It like fucked me up. I was like, this is on a level, an intentional artistic level I don't know if I've ever seen. Like just as far as like just the beauty of everything. It was like crazy. So it was
That's
really
awesome.
weird to get glimpses of like what they wanted, and the fact that it was like in 1893 and this shit is still like around. It just was wild.
That is wild.
We'll move past the part where we walked off the wooded island and onto the Obama Presidential Library site where concrete was just broken everywhere and we could like not get out. And
oh geez,
we had to walk to this like public golf course and call a lift. It was insane.
How windy was
but
it?
You know, not that windy.
I'd be so disappointed.
I think the craziest part about it, now there is a good wind that comes off of Lake Michigan when you're near the water.
Yeah.
So, and obviously not a native, I'm sure, I know for a fact it gets windy as shit. I have a mediator that I work with that literally said like, he worked in Chicago for like 10 years. Yeah. And the first day he got there, he came from Missouri. He rounded a corner and was knocked to his fucking knees by a gust that came down between these buildings. So he told me like, it literally knocked me off my feet. Yeah. Like the first time I felt one. The weather was really nice. It get a little warm in the city, but when you get by the lake water is so cold. This water it drops like 10 degrees by the water.
Nuts. Yeah.
So we're about to take this boat tour, and it was like in the city, it was like 74, 75 with sun. So you're a little warm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're right in the sun. We go out there and I catch a little breeze. I'm like,
Oh,
this cold. And like the boat tour guy was like, yeah, you may notice it's like 10 degrees colder here. That's the water from Lake Michigan. I'm like, that's badass.
that is.
Um,
Man, I wish Florida'd get cold because of the water around it, but no, that ain't happening.
right.
Mm-mm.
But a really good time.
Oh, that's awesome.
I really want to go back. It was amazing.
Well-
And then I flew. Sorry, go
I was just gonna say, if you go back, Jason in the chat says next time grab some Gino's East Pizza or Little Kuma's Corner, and United Center for that Jordan statue.
Didn't see that stuff. Gino's East. So we had Giordano's, which I don't know if that's like, sure, man, haha, lol.
Right.
They had the deep dish at Giordano's, was goddamn amazing.
Yeah.
Like the deep dish at Giordano's was crazy because like you get this deep dish pizza, and I've had deep dish like in the South, and like it's greasy and nasty, and like it's just like a lot. I'm like, why would I want like 8 pizzas stacked on top of each other? Like I would just eat one. Up there, like so at Giordano's, it looks like that. You're kind of like, all right, here we go. But this is the wildest part, bro. You're not even ready for this shit. You fork and knife that bad boy, right?
Right, of course.
And you know what's left on your plate?
What?
Like some ass crumbs. There's no grease.
Oh.
Like there was a pea-sized amount of like classic good old orange red pizza grease.
Oh, of course.
There was like this little bit on my plate.
Huh.
And so here's the thing about it, is you eat it, it goes down good. You're not overstuffed, and you can go do shit.
Oh.
Like so you're like, oh well, this is just really good then. Like, and it's not greasy.
Yeah.
At all.
Interesting.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
Apparently.
You
know what I mean? And like, so yeah, so okay, so Jason says that Giordano's is delicious. Yes, like I'm glad. Because there were some other places, and we wound up going to Giordano's twice. Because once we just went there, like Sunday night we got in, we're like tired as hell, like, hey, let's get some pizza. It's literally right there.
Yeah.
The second time, one of Alicia's friends really wanted to meet us, and she was close to Giordano's. So we went to another Giordano's.
Yeah.
Both time they were great. We met a lot of Alicia's like writer friends who some of them live in Chicago. Some of them weirdly were just in Chicago.
That's weird.
For Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Like we were. But yeah, met up with her friends, and they were all so nice and super cool. And Preston says in the Wilco building, that's the other thing.
Yeah. Yankee Hotel Foxtrot.
Yeah. I look out my window and like it's there.
Yeah, that's neat.
And I forgot those buildings were in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So I look out my window. To the right's Trump Tower. I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah.
And then the left, I'm like, I literally am like, those are the buildings from Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. And she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. That's what? Then I got the picture. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of course.
And I realized the angle.
Yeah.
So the angle to get those buildings is from the river. Like, you either be on the Riverwalk or on like a boat on the river going through downtown, and you turn a corner, and that angle from the fucking album just is there.
Oh
like,
wow,
it's just
that's awesome.
it's like a sky painting of like Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. It's like just to your right
just
there. And
there
you're like,
album.
Oh,
cover.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Let's see here.
That's neat.
There's you got to do more than like 3 or 4 days in Chicago.
Oh, of
like,
course.
I just got to go back.
Yeah.
This is all there is to it to do more. Turtle Comic says, listening while I rearrange the collection to make room for all this new Mirage stuff, my wife might divorce me over.
Yeah.
Here.
There's some stuff that's
I got some stuff. I got some stuff from the files of Pizza Squad over here. You know what I'm saying? That about got me. You know what I mean? So I like.
Did you see this? That this came out? I don't know if you can see him. It's your boy.
Yeah, I see him.
It's Tiny Splinter. Yeah. So it's that time, y'all, that they're putting out stuff, and
it's that time, y'all. It's time.
It's that time. It's getting rough. Yeah, I haven't been able to find the 4-pack yet. I found April and Splinter, and I think the only ones I might get that battle damage shredder, but I don't know. I'm definitely gonna get the beefy frog guy. I forget which one he is. One of the punk frogs, but
yeah.
You're right, John. He does have a good looking burnt Cheeto. I got it. Right here, actually.
Sign my burnt Cheeto.
Yeah, sign my burnt Cheeto. This is the only tool that I'd want anyone to
That's
autograph.
a good look.
It is. And then the 4-pack. That's the only other thing that I think I'm looking for. But I've heard rumors, and I'm sure everyone else has, that they're going to be releasing them the next couple Fridays. They're going to put them up on their site, so check that out if you're looking for that. And well,
my Target is like inundated with like short thug, tall thug.
Oh,
and I'm like,
Rosie Red or something. I forget what her name
is.
There's
Rose Red and the other thug, and then there's like the, you know what I'm talking about. They're like just the thugs. The really tall, skinny one, like Ichabod Crane looking one.
Yeah,
and the short one.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the other two.
Just dudes, like two dudes, like, and they have like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, I didn't.
And I'm like, could we like click out of that and get to some more Mirage? Do you have any more like any of like the other like NECA Mirage stuff? I'm like, God.
Yeah.
Target's like the worst. I went to Turtle Comics. I went to Target last night with the DCPI numbers. Everything was in the back room. I was lucky enough to find a store employee more than happy to bring it all out.
Nice.
That's that research.
Yeah, I've got all
That's that research.
If you follow a lot of people on Instagram, that's a real quick way, surefire way to speed things up. You know what I'm saying? And they'll get you all that stuff. But just
I'm here for any and all John Popper jokes.
Oh, of course. So
any and all lawful John Popper jokes.
Right. Well, you wanna do this news real quick and then get out of here because we're running kind of long.
Yeah.
So
man.
But real quick before we do that, in the chat, Jason asked, "What else are you hoping for from the Mirage line?" Let's tackle that real quick. A Bloodsucker up there, Colonel Booter, definitely Colonel Booter.
I can't throw Bloodsucker because of the rights. I know it won't happen. That's the problem.
Well,
like almost like that would be my dream, but I just know because it's all tied up, it won't happen.
Right.
Sadly, guest era stuff, unless they were like went on to be tight with like continually tight with Mirage, or they were part of the staff eventually, is not going to happen.
I want roided out Nightmare Casey. Definitely want the Nightmare Casey. That would be wild.
It'd be badass. Like when that cat ate that slice of pizza, you wake up and your pizza gone, bro. I want that one.
Yep.
I want Jim Lawson Leatherhead.
Oh.
From Tales.
Okay. Ooh.
I want him to look as gross and black-lined as possible.
Right.
Like the sculpt needs to look sketched. Does that make any sense? Like,
of course.
I want that one.
Yeah.
Like special edition Jim Lawson Tales of the TMNT Leatherhead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need the back of that box to be that preview with that black manhole. You know what I'm saying?
Just that
coming soon. I need that shit.
Yeah.
That'd be hot as hell.
I'm thinking I'm gonna want Nobody. Nobody's gonna be another one that's gonna be really cool.
That would be a really good one.
Real simple, but still like pretty neat. I'm trying to think. April with that new do. Get that new do in there. You know.
Oh damn, that'd be really good.
That'd be really good. What else is there?
There's so much they could do out of Mirage. There's so much they could do.
I'm drawing a blank on a lot of it though.
Because they did like return. They did like return to New York.
Yeah.
With the kind of like different shredders and stuff.
There's something from the
like
past.
Can we just get like a Casey, like a good like RAF Micro Casey.
We have a Casey from Mirage. We're getting the red shirt Casey because the one we got before is either white or blue, I forget. But yeah, the supposedly there's a rumored red shirt Casey that's coming out, which I think is what you're in reference to. And
I would like that. That would be hot.
And
Turtle Comics says, I'm hoping for actual Lawson turtles. That style he developed on his own with the weird curvy edge line work. Yeah, like Lawson turtles would be bad. That'd be so cool.
Oh yeah. But most of my stuff, I'm thinking I want from the animated series, or not animated series. Geez, Archie.
Oh yeah, sure.
Archie stuff.
We need to plumb those depths.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna talk about some Archie characters real quick. Let's
Hey, Kid Terra.
Kid Terra. That's a tough one because he did something, but then he redeemed himself. All right, so yeah, let's see here. We're gonna use this template, and we're gonna just jump into the news here. So y'all ready? Here we go. We got news, everybody. Musicals. Oh my lord, guys!
The Broadway musical.
They have just announced. Well, actually, it's probably like last week, but still, we're talking about it tonight, and
Let's go.
Is exciting. We've got Shredder's Revenge news. Just when you thought it was over, just when you thought, oh, they've forgotten about it. Yeah, you thought you ribbit. Yeah, you were thinking they gotta do something with them Frog Boys they talked about, but I don't know. That's probably the only thing that kept me thinking that they're not gonna they're gonna come back. They gotta come back. The hook's gonna bring them back, Ryan. John Popper. So, but like no, surprisingly not. It's not the frogs. It's not the frogs, but it's another Hopper, Ryan. It's another hopping boy. And yeah, let's see if I can find the image of him real quick, because here we go. It's another hopping boy. Usagi Yojimbo. There you go. Coming to Shredder's Revenge through DLC, which is going to be called Dimension Shell Shock, which is kind of almost a tongue twister in a way. Dimension Shell Shock. Yeah. There you go. But yeah, this is very exciting because we here at Turtle Soup are huge fans of Usagi Yojimbo, and this game was a lot of fun. If you missed it, we have it on our channel, but we took when it came out, we spent a good like 2-3 hours or so and played
a good time
all the way through. And we're gonna have to do it again with this. So yeah, they showed this and it's pretty awesome. We'll go through the Usagi stuff real quick. They got some levels showing him doing some stuff, attacking some foot soldiers. So go check out the trailer if you want on YouTube and whatnot. But yeah, but real quick, they show all kinds of stuff and there's all kinds of Easter eggs, and we're gonna go through some of these again in a second. But I just wanted to show this. But yeah, just Usagi doing his thing, and drinking some tea right there with is that a toucan?
Right in the park.
Is that a toucan?
Yeah.
Okay,
that was like a toucan.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing them more colorful, but a black and white one, I don't know. I don't know. But
I used to see him employed as a spokesman.
That's true. That's normally how follow my nose. It's usually a pusher for some sugar loops. But yeah, so that's really exciting. I'm super happy that of all the characters that we could have got, Usagi's like gonna be in there. I don't know if he's been in another video game like this before. I can't one doesn't come to mind. If there is one, email us turtlesoupshow@gmail.com or get in the chat and let me know. But this is really awesome, and I'm super happy Stan Sakai like signed off on this, because this is one of the best characters that the Turtles have ever partnered with, and he's good on his own. But just him and the Turtles, peanut butter and jelly. Well, I know that doesn't work for you because you hate peanut butter, but Jordan and Pippin, all the classic combinations. The Usagi and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just excellent. And yeah, well, another quick thing that they talked about was other modes of combat, like or just other gameplay modes. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, right, can you think of any other like video game modes that this could have? Because they didn't elaborate really. They talked about, let me see if I can find the actual thing that they talked about, because they say, because the title of it's explore or they say explore dimensions in a new play mode. So what could that mean? Like, is that just saying there's more levels?
No, play mode would probably be, there could be some kind of like maybe like hard mode, like kind of like a battle royale. It's like if you you start off with all the characters and they die off as you go, so you can only have so many, like the number of characters you have or number of lives you have. That's the thing they could do.
Yeah.
They could do a competitive scoring mode as well. Like if you had like 2 players, like each player keeps their own score or something like that. Maybe,
okay.
I don't know.
I was thinking too, because I can't remember if it actually has it or not. I don't remember, but how some of the older games had just like a fighting game, just a mode that you could just like, just see who wins, and it's not like it's rudimentary, like nothing like advanced or anything, but it was there, and I'm like that. But the explore dimensions, that's what like.
Yeah,
makes
they're
me
definitely
think
going
there's
because you can see
gotta
some
be
stuff here, and that they're
right.
definitely like taking you to other areas,
But
like other environments.
but they definitely talk about new music's going to be there, like
Mhm.
in the background and whatnot, and then new color palettes, which, if I'm not mistaken, our one of our correspondents, Jake Niehaus, he our St. Louis correspondent, there we go, that's what I was looking for, pointed out on our Facebook group that what is shown, let me see if I can find the image of it, because I believe I had a screenshot of it. Here we go. Like this screenshot right here shows the turtles in their Manhattan Projects color palette,
Oh,
which is really neat. It's like it's a fun little palette swap, but still it's
yeah,
like looking like when they showed the trailer, I was like, that looked familiar, but then once he said it and I'm like staring at it, I'm like, I'm kind
yeah,
of getting like triggered by it and having
hmm
all these memories of the whole
yeah,
thing. And what it looks like is not only are the turtles having a palette swap or a color change or whatever, but also the characters in the background, which
hmm
is something that Turtle Soup prides itself on, with looking into things way more than we should, and looking just deeper and deeper. We're not called the Deep Diving Daddies for nothing, and here we got a lot to deep dive on. So, what can you see from on your end? Like, who's back there? Do you see that? Because it looks
yeah.
like,
I see. I think that's Tattoo
yeah, that's
up in the top left,
oh,
which
there's
is
the
pretty
mouse, yeah,
sweet.
yeah, right there, and then
Uh, Scumbug.
Scumbug right there. That I can zoom in too. I forgot I have that ability. So let me
Mm.
zoom in here.
Oh, what
Um,
was I saying? Zoom out.
yeah. So there we go.
I see. I don't know who they're fighting. They look like they're not really foot soldiers.
They look like they're a certain kind of foot soldier, but yeah, they have
Yeah,
different
no,
arms though. That is interesting. They got
yeah.
some rock soldiers like in the form of General Trag over here, but then you got your boy Ace Duck up there without any pants
Oh,
on,
your
just hanging
boy.
on. Oh, and that
Nope,
looks so good. And
it
so
does.
I am very excited about that. And let me see what else we got here. So I showed something earlier with Usagi, and there's two characters in the background here. I want to start with this one. This is your boy Chen Kong, believe it or not. Back in
Wow.
Archie, where I
Yeah.
think it's when we first get introduced to Ninjara, who I do believe is this
Uh-huh.
character right here, unless I'm mistaken.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
But
sick.
but yeah, like they look so good. Now, what I'm afraid of is that maybe they're not going to be playable, which is unfortunate.
They're just like characters in the
Right.
background kind of thing. Yeah.
However, there is. I feel that way about Ninjara, with Chen Kong being an antagonist, if you will.
Uh-huh.
I can see him jumping off the background, and then you have to fight him, which
Into a
is
boss fight. Yeah,
right.
that makes sense.
Right, which if you don't remember what Chen Kong looks like, this is his entry
There's your boy
from.
right
Yeah,
there.
let me zoom in or zoom out from his crotch, but yeah, that's your boy right there, and he was. I remember liking his appearance in the Adventures book
Yeah.
and thought it was great, and yeah,
Yeah,
that
he
got
was
me.
Ninjara's old leader, like
Yes,
who she kind of looked up to at the time.
right. And then I think there's this level. I don't think I saw anything of note in here really. Let's see if I can do that. You see the Triceratops bones back
Mm,
there. I don't know specifically what this coffin is or if it could be anything, but there was
these
nothing
old
else.
just old artifacts and stuff like that.
Yeah, but what I did love is that right here you could see like a Diplodocus silhouette, but it's
Yeah,
like the backside of the statue or the bones.
the
Oh,
fossils. Yeah.
yeah. Now I was hoping that the foot soldiers would be holding mops in this, like because there's the floor and they're
Mm,
mopping and whatnot.
yeah.
But unfortunately, it's blades. But
No.
yeah. So this one was a little disappointing. This screenshot, but
Yeah.
this next one, Ryan, I was
Mm,
totally not expecting this. So we got okay, Usagi, and he's squaring off against some foot soldiers on a bridge. That's cool. You got some animals over here and a fox right there, and then a
mm.
giant ass like just bird. And I was like, that bird looks familiar. Let me get a better look
Yeah.
at him. And yeah, that is. I was like, that can't be. No way they're throwing this dude in. And it is none other
That's
than
your boy.
Al Falca. Alfalfa.
Alfalfa,
Woo.
bro. That's an
So
old Adventures hit.
yeah, there's your boy right there.
There's your boy, dude.
And I geeked out on that because that's a throwback. That like I think he's in 2 issues of Adventures, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
They
And
meet him very briefly. I think in like the Himalayas or like
yeah,
mountains
somewhere
or
around
something
that
like
time.
that. Like, yeah,
Yeah, when they were globetrotting, they definitely met up with him.
bro.
And I remember enjoying him too, and I'm just excited to see that's the thing I love about when creators who make these games actually care about the content and the
Yes.
license and stuff, and throw this stuff in here. Even if even if we can't play him and he does nothing but just sit there, that just means a lot to me. Like I don't know, it immerses me more in that world, and I don't know, I'm just super excited about this. And I don't know. I don't know if they said when. They didn't give a date as to when this is coming out, but yeah. Do you have any idea or like any speculatory ideas as to like what other characters could be playable in this? Like especially if there's from another dimension.
They are reaching deep into Adventures.
They
like
are.
Shin Khan. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that's like in there because Ninjara is in like a million D like issues. She becomes a main character.
She's like pivotal
in Adventures,
Yeah.
especially during like almost the best parts of Adventures. She's like a big character.
Yeah.
But throwing in Shin Khan means to me, I think, and this is just pure speculation,
Oh, of course.
that she is going to be playable and she's going to be a character because like why would you put her origin story in? Like why would you put Shin Khan in there?
Oh
like,
yeah.
If
That's
not
true.
to explain like her and stuff. Well, not to mention though, like I mean, the cool thing about Ninjara, you know, is that she is from a race of anthropomorphic foxes. She is not
a mutant.
A mutant. Very important.
Yep.
It was very important to her at first, but that
Absolutely.
way, you know what I'm saying? Because she had a little bit of like a mutant racism problem there in the beginning of the comic. She had to kind of get with that.
Yeah.
And Shin Khan, of course, was there. So, Usagi Yojimbo is also not a mutant. He is a anthropomorphic rabbit, okay?
From a different dimension.
world.
Yeah.
So that could be his way of getting into the game, is that other dimensions is you are in this dimension where you have Ninjara and Shin Khan and Usagi Yojimbo are all in the same dimension.
Right.
And that's how we get him. So she's part of that. So I think that's pretty big. They're deep because, Ace Duck, Tattoo was in there, Scumbug was in there. This is all adventure stuff.
Yeah.
That like Alfalfa, dude, that's a flex. Alfalfa's a huge flex.
Huge flex. So
you know what I'm saying? Like you might as well throw in, oh God, was it the Dalai Lama? Who was a llama? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yes.
Like you might as well. I mean, there's some dudes you could throw in there. So I'm excited about it, but I think that's my biggest speculation. I think that the Ninjara with Shin Khan there, they're definitely, I think, going to be a storyline where they get into Ninjara's background and how she kind of relates, I think, to Usagi, because they are kind of similar characters in the fact that they're not mutants, and they're kind of two of the only characters in the TMNT universe that aren't.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. So I think my biggest speculation is that the new story and stuff will center around that.
Yeah. I think that's a huge thing. Yeah, definitely. And they're definitely leaning into adventures like you're saying. And if they do that, one of the biggest like means to travel interdimensionally, if I'm not mistaken, is Cuddly the Cowlick. And he is near and dear. They are near and dear to us here at Turtle Soup. And I would just die if Cuddly shows up in this game. Like that's gonna be amazing.
What if like the Explore Dimensions thing is like there's like different levels and there are different dimensions, you can go different places and play? And what if that's how you got there? Because you had to hop into
that's
call
what I'm saying.
Cuddly and like
that
hop
would be
in his
amazing.
mouth and go. That'd be sick.
That would be awesome. Now they did show like a portal opening up, but that could just be for the trailer, like just
whatever,
they didn't
man.
Want to steal or spoil that. But yeah, bring Cuddly into this. That'd be amazing. Now I know he's not going to be a playable character, but still, like the reference to him would be amazing. Obviously, when you think of interdimensional, I get them all mixed up because there's so many continuities with TMNT. But I think that the dimensional stuff mostly, oddly enough, spoke to the animated series, and everything else in Adventures wasn't dimensional, but they might be blurring that line. I can't really recall because they use a lot of the same phrasing in a bunch of different stuff, because I know that Slash is from a different planet in Adventures, but in the animated series or the figure, I get those two mixed up too, because that's a whole other continuity. But one of those versions of Slash is technically an interdimensional character from Dimension X. I mean, Dimension X is
yes.
It's a dimension.
Dimension X definitely exists in that Adventures continuity as well,
Right?
and Cuddly is a trans-dimensional cowlick. That's like
Right.
his literal title. So
Yeah.
But like when they go into like the Stump and Stickiverse like idea with the arena, remember all that stuff?
Yeah.
I can't remember if that's another dimension
Right.
or just another part of the galaxy.
Yeah,
like
because
I
it's like
don't
the
remember
Intergalactic
that.
Wrestling Federation thing. Yeah, but that's a different
Yeah.
A-Stuck too in that. That's that
is
buff,
different
that
A-Stuck.
swole A-Stuck.
Oh
But,
no, that's that buff duck, bro.
That
Like,
buff
look
duck.
out, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But we get some Crying Hound in here. Like, that'd be wild.
Oh, dude, no. If there's an expansion or another dimension, is the arena?
Yeah.
Because that could be a cool mode. Because if you,
definitely.
all right, so here, here we go.
Here it goes.
Yes, the new dimensions, they're all linked through the arena, and the new play mode is Stump and Stick Arena, where you get to play as different characters and you fight like basically it's like a wave game.
Yeah.
Like where you just like fight wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and all these other aliens and different things come and try to get you.
Yeah.
And the higher you go, the more money you earn from Stump and Stick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that'd be badass.
That would be awesome. I'd love that. That would be amazing. The one thing that I wish that they would do is it would have made this game more like the Scott Pilgrim versus the World game, the beat 'em up. That's a little bit like River City Ransom, where you can use that money to go in to buy things in the store, and there's more of an RPG element to it. I would love to see them have a game
That'd be a
mode that
major
incorporates
expansion. That would really open up a ton of the game.
It would, but still, there's a lot to go here, and we got nothing on the Punk Frogs, which they were teasing like crazy.
Which is kind of crazy. So it tells me that definitely like there's more to be revealed in this thing. I don't imagine that they. I think this DLC is bigger.
Yeah,
and I think that it's got a lot more angles than we think. Because I don't know if the plan would be to nickel and dime DLC this game,
right?
Just because of the publisher and the devs that make it. It doesn't sound like one of those games GTA 5 for 800 years and every 2 weeks you put out a little thing.
Right.
This is probably going to be a really big DLC to see if it's viable to continue expanding the game.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to get a lot here. It's hard. It's weird though that they led with Punk Frogs and then they Usagi it, which is interesting.
Strange. Yeah.
But I think we'll see more dimensions of this, if you will.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like of this coming up.
Yeah.
And more will be revealed for sure.
Absolutely. So let us know what you think in the chat, and email us, turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. Let us know who you're looking forward to seeing, who you think is going to be a playable character, what mode do you think is going to be there. All your thoughts, let us know, turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. And as always, we will be here to keep you abreast or up to breast or whatever you want to say. With all the latest happenings on this front and all things turtles. So until then, else time. All right, so jumping back to the chat real quick before we head out of here. Yeah,
John, you die in Shredder's Revenge, you die in real life. That's a mode. Usagi, not a mutant racist. True.
Yeah. Turtle Comic, I'd love to see a new comic Usagi figure with a new sculpt, taller legs, so we can set him on a horse. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I was trying to think if we'd gotten a comic version, but then I was getting that confused with the black and white animated series sculpt that we got. And
Samurai armored Usagi, I would want him to be a thick boy.
Oh, yeah.
All those plates, like that'd be bad as fuck.
Oh, it would be. It would be. Yeah. Yeah. So
that's awesome. Yeah, no, I think the DLC would be pretty sweet. Like
yeah.
I'm excited they're expanding it. I did not think they would. Like
really?
I kind of thought about the game, and I thought that the game really served its I mean, this sounds really bad, but I think the game was good standalone. I think that for the price point, and it did well. And I could see them being like, good, right? Because they always have the option to do that, right? They always have the option to say like, nope, good game, man, move on.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like that's not necessarily an option so much as it is like that's just a caveat of sorts. Like that it's like,
oh,
well, it did okay. Okay, so yeah. No, I think that if it did well, that they're like the next step is immediately let's do more with this,
mm-hmm.
or at least in the current like way that
No,
games are
I agree.
made.
If a game does well, then it would get DLC. The only other way, and this is probably maybe something else that happened, was sometimes like they give themselves a certain amount of time to
Yeah.
work on product, and then they kind of tally up what they have, and then they just take things out and make a DLC later.
Oh, I see what you're
Like,
saying. Yeah.
do you know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
like for a lot of this Usagi Yojimbo build out and this stuff like that could have very well been developed during the developing of the actual game itself,
Yeah.
and then it was restricted and pulled out to later be DLC.
Yeah.
Like is another option,
Right. Or it could be the thing where, and this might have been what you were actually saying too, and I'm just rephrasing it, that it could be they were it was in development but wasn't quite done at the time of release, and then they get it done and they're like, oh, we just have a DLC now, so there you go.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty common in video games and stuff, and then even down into like RPGs and board games, it's very common.
Yeah.
It is so common. Like in that time where I was really working on board game design, man, I talked to so many designers and I talked about to them about their games, and it felt like every game designer I talked to was like, oh yeah, no, the first 2 expansions totally in my first build, and like the publisher was like, let's take this mechanic out. You got a trade mechanic, we'll pull that. And you have this, this other like points mechanic. We'll take that out,
Yeah.
and we'll just expand that later, right? And like start the game as like a more of a basic game, and that happens a ton. So yeah, so some of this could have already been in the pipe, which is why it's so quick to come potentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good game, and the platform is really solid, and it's a solid game. It's not buggy. It's a good game. So if you could build more on top. Well, let's fucking go.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Well, speaking of going, we got to get out of here real quick, though. Paul Calicote says, if the TMNT were the Ronin Warriors, whose power armor goes to which turtle? Now, Ronin Warriors is a thing I hadn't thought about in ages. And
that's a throwback.
I have a the faintest of faint memories of that. And yeah, so unfortunately, I cannot like answer that.
It's like really ringing a lot of bells for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll look it up real quick because I definitely remember Ronin Warriors, the name alone at least, and vaguely, but I get it mixed up with Saint Seiya a little bit currently, and but I believe they're 2 separate things, and but I definitely remember seeing the toys back in the day, but I don't have a lot of knowledge on them. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at like a lot of it's coming back to me.
Yeah, I definitely.
This was pretty niche though.
It was, but yeah.
I don't feel like I can almost speak on it because I know that they each had their own armor.
Yeah,
they had different abilities, and dude, like I can't figure it out.
Yeah, it's hard to say because, like, I mean, like you said, I don't have enough knowledge to talk on it, but that is neat. That is a throwback. Oh, and Dan Larson did an episode on it. So on Toy Galaxy or Secret Galaxy.
Oh,
his
neat.
channel. So
okay, yeah.
So yeah. So if you want to get up to breast on Ronin Warriors, go check out Dan's YouTube, Secret Galaxy. They do good stuff over there. And
yeah, for people listening that don't really know what Ronin Warriors is, like it's a little bit like, I guess the closest thing I can say is like, imagine like, like the Power Rangers, like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, like each like had like their own like dino, like that, like when they morphed and stuff like that, and like it was a little bit indicative of their personality. Not really. It was good. Imagine if all those were like way more personalized.
Yeah.
Like if like Jason had Tyrannosaurus and it was like, he was like hyper aggressive, and that's how he fought. And then like Trini had like Sabretooth. But it was like imagine if it was a lot more in depth than it is in Mighty Morphin.
Yeah,
like that's roughly what we're talking about. But yeah, I don't know enough about the armor, and I don't want to sound like an idiot.
Yeah, I sound like an idiot anyway. So yeah, I still don't want to sound more. I don't want to sound like more of one, I guess, is what.
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
trying to
Like
say.
when you're starting down Idiot Street, you don't want to just speed down. You
It's
know,
a
you just wanna
slippery
slow
slope.
right down the road. It is a slippery
It is a
slope.
slippery slope. Well, speaking of slopes, we got to slope out of
Yeah.
here. Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us and being
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks a lot for
Mitch, for
joining
all
us
the
tonight.
emails. And
Yes.
please be sure to send us more. Get us some turtles come out and fight that. And anything else you
Those
can
are
think
fun,
of.
like one-offs and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
On
And
the show and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
we're gonna come back hopefully next week and get back into the Prime episodes. And yeah, that's gonna be fun. Patrons that are listening, I'm doubling up, so I haven't forgot about you, baby birds, and we're gonna get that out. And yeah, until then, else time.
Else time.